What's up guys, got the Pro XP here again. Wanted to throw together a little different video today. There's been obviously a lot of comments on the Pro XP about people saying it's just not a good value, it's way overpriced, this and that. And a few things I want to go over and kind of throw my opinion at it. One of the biggest things is obviously it's on par with the Turbo S as far as price goes. Very similar in pricing. This is the Pro XP Ultimate. So it is the most expensive one because it comes with the dynamics and a few other things. But value-wise, it's right on par with the Turbo S. So you gotta decide what kind of riding style you want to go with. The biggest difference being this is only 64 inches wide versus the Turbo S is 72. So in my case, I can't use the 72 inch in most of my riding locations, located more toward the middle of the country in the Midwest. And it pretty much leave the desert and the dunes about the only place I could ride. So that is why I ended up going with the Pro XP instead of Turbo S. Another thing with the Pro XP is the availability of aftermarket accessories. I remember when this first came out, Pro Armor was pretty much the only option you had for aftermarket accessories. They obviously co-developed quite a few things with Polaris before the machine even came out. So they kind of had a head start on that, but there's a lot more accessories coming out. Next thing is the engine. This is a redesigned engine, or a little updated engine they did with the Pro XP. Puts out 181 horsepower from 168 prior. Just get a little more power. And then the next thing, the redesigned clutch housing system here. I will say it is a very loud system. Engagement's a little rough, and then shifting isn't the smoothest. But beyond that, I haven't had any issues with it as far as it getting hot or with the belt. I'm still running the stock belt with no problems at all. So I'm pretty happy with that so far. Next thing is gonna be the frame and suspension. They obviously say they went with the one-piece frame, so it's not bolted together. My biggest takeaway from that is it's just built a lot beefier than the standard RZR XP Turbo and XPs. A lot of upgraded parts. The one thing I've noticed is just with larger parts and beefier system they designed, when you're looking at like aftermarket parts, it's a lot harder to tell what's really an upgrade versus what comes on this. Like I've been looking at the front A-arms. They offer like Ford offset A-arms and different upgrade A-arms, and it's hard to tell if there's really a big difference between these and aftermarket ones. I mean, these are built pretty beefy overall. Another part of that is gonna be the suspension. So I went with the Ultimate, which comes with the dynamics, and in my opinion, it's worth the price. Majority of the time, I just leave it in comfort, unless I'm going over probably 40 or 50. Then I'll bump it up to sport, and it can handle most everything. I guess you could bump it up to firm if you're out in the desert, really putting it to the limit. But comfort is really smooth, it absorbs just about anything. And you've always got the red button. You could put it to full firm if you had to. And then the next biggest thing is going to be the seats. I've used the seats they had prior. They're really not very comfortable. A lot of people go with aftermarket seats. I'm still torn on whether to go aftermarket seats or just continue to use these. They're really comfortable. We've got no complaints with it. They keep you pretty cool. And then I'm gonna go with the aftermarket cage. So I'll have to decide whether if aftermarket seats are gonna raise the seat height at all. These are pretty low as they sit, but overall I like the seats quite a bit. Then the next thing is gonna be tires. These come with the Carnivores, or 30 inch. I wish they would have gone to 32s on these. It looks like there should be enough room, but these are the Bighorns. These will get through just about anything. I never had any complaints with these. They work pretty well. Another thing is going to be the headlights on the Pro XP. They are pretty good. They're obviously not on par with like a aftermarket light bar, but these lights are a big step up from what Polaris has offered before and other OEM manufacturers. Next thing I want to talk about is the roll cage. I do want to go with the aftermarket roll cage, but for a stock roll cage, it obviously is bolted together in some spots, but overall it's a big step up from what's been offered in the past. It flows with the lines a lot better and looks a lot better than some of the other cages offered in the past. Then another thing, I don't normally ever buy a first year model of anything, but this is obviously one of the exceptions. It's 2020, first time they came out with the Pro XP, and overall I'm very happy with the purchase. I haven't had any issues so far. There's a few minor things that I think will be adjusted for the following years, but nothing, no big complaints for sure. Along with the going with the ultimate package, it comes with navigation, which I didn't really think I'd ever use, but it has come in handy. If you're going to like a brand new trail that you don't know very well, you can set a waypoint at the parking lot when you first arrive, and then it's much easier to follow that to get back to the original location if you happen to get lost. And then this comes with the 4 speakers. You got the 2 up on the cage and then 1 on each side. It's a really crystal, pretty clear stereo. The only complaint I have is it's not quite loud enough to hear over the engine. Even at full 10, the loudest it'll go, it's not quite loud enough. Another feature is a 12-gallon fuel tank, which is pretty handy. I've rarely had to fill it back up on a day ride. Other thing is going to be they went with the RS1 Turbo S front diff. I know the standard XP turbos had issues with the front diff, so they went ahead and upgraded that. Got the better one. I know a lot of people did that after on the turbo or XP turbos to upgrade that because they had issues with. Trying to think of anything else. Overall, not too many complaints. Obviously the bed comes out, which is an amazing feature. And obviously a lot more aftermarket parts coming out for it finally. I think it's about all I have to talk about it. Overall, I'm pretty happy with the purchase. Would definitely buy it again, but that's just my 2 cents on the Pro XP as it is.